Wait, so I'm just not going to get anything? That's the headline. It's not actually what the report says. Social Security's trust fund is genuinely projected to run low into 2032. That part is real, and we're going to walk through the actual government numbers. But run low and disappear completely are two very different things, and mixing them up leads people to make bad decisions, like claiming benefits early out of pure panic. Let's separate the real risk from the headline and cover what most Social Security videos skip, what your own claiming age actually does to your check, and who else besides you can collect one. Social Security is funded mostly on a pay-as-you-go basis. Today's payroll taxes largely fund today's retirees' checks, not your own future payout sitting in an account with your name on it. The trust fund is a reserve built up over decades specifically to cover the gap in years when scheduled benefits cost more than that year's incoming payroll tax revenue. Since 2021, the program has been paying out more in benefits than it collects in payroll tax each year. So it's been drawing down that reserve to make up the difference, which is exactly what the reserve was built for. Here's a detail that surprises a lot of people. The trust fund isn't a vault of cash sitting somewhere waiting for you. By law, any reserve not needed immediately is invested in special issue U.S. Treasury securities, essentially. The government borrows the surplus from itself and pays it interest, the same way it would owe interest on any other Treasury bond. So, the money isn't actually sitting there, it's sitting there as a government IOU, backed by the same full faith and credit as every other U.S. Treasury bond, which is considered extremely safe. But it does mean the reserve's value depends on the government's ability to honor its own debt, same as it would for anyone holding Treasury bonds directly. This isn't a scandal or a hidden flaw, it's literally how the system was designed from the start, and it's disclosed every year in the Trustees Report itself. According to the 2026 Social Security Trustees Report, the government's own official annual projection, the Old Age and Survivors Insurance Fund, the part that pays retirement benefits, is projected to be able to pay 100% of scheduled benefits until the fourth quarter of 2032. At that point, if Congress does nothing between now and then, the fund's reserves become depleted. But the program does not stop. Ongoing payroll tax revenue continues coming in every year regardless, and that ongoing revenue alone would be sufficient to pay about 78% of scheduled benefits. So it's a 22% cut, not a 100% cut. Correct, and that's specifically for the retirement fund alone. Looking at the combined retirement and disability trust funds together, the government projects they can pay all scheduled benefits through 2034, with about 83% still payable after that point if nothing changes. Here's important context the scary headlines usually skip. This isn't the first time Social Security has faced a depletion date. In the early 1980s, the program was projected to run short within months, and in 1983, Congress passed bipartisan reforms that gradually raised the full retirement age, adjusted the payroll tax rate, and made a portion of benefits taxable for higher earners. Those changes extended the program's solvency for decades. Lawmakers have similar tools available again now, raising or eliminating the income cap on payroll taxes, gradually adjusting the retirement age for future retirees, or adjusting the benefit formula for higher earners. None of these are guaranteed to happen, and there's real political disagreement about which combination is fair. But the historical pattern is that Congress acts before benefits actually get cut, usually within a year or two of the deadline, not a decade ahead of it. Whatever happens with the trust fund in 2032. There's a decision entirely within your own control that changes your benefit far more than any projected cut: the age you actually claim. Your full retirement age, the age at which you receive 100% of your calculated benefit, is 67 for anyone born in 1960 or later. Claim at 62, the earliest age allowed, and your monthly check is permanently reduced by as much as 30% compared to waiting for full retirement age. Wait past full retirement age instead, and your benefit grows by roughly 8% for every year you delay, up to age 70, meaning a benefit claimed at 70 can run about 24% higher than the same benefit claimed at full retirement age. This is exactly the panic claiming mistake from earlier in this video. Drake, worried the program might cut his benefit anyway, considers claiming the moment he's eligible at 62, locking in a permanently smaller check for a possible future cut that wouldn't even affect him for years, if at all. Daniel treats claiming age as its own separate decision, based on health, other income sources, and how long people in his family have tended to live, not based on headlines about a trust fund he doesn't control. For many people who can afford to wait and expect an average or longer lifespan, delaying towards 70 produces a larger lifetime total, even accounting for the years without a check. For others who need the income sooner or have health concerns, claiming earlier is the right call. There's no single correct age, but the choice should be deliberate, not reactive. One more piece most people don't learn until it's urgent: Social Security isn't strictly one benefit per person based only on your own work record. A spouse can claim a benefit based on their partner's earnings record instead of their own, if that produces a larger check, up to 50% of the higher earner's full benefit, even with little or no work history of their own. And if a spouse passes away, the surviving spouse can generally step up to the deceased spouse's full benefit amount, if it's higher than their own, a survivor benefit, not a brand new payment layered on top. This matters directly for claiming strategy in a two-income household. Sometimes it makes sense for the higher earner to delay towards 70 specifically because it raises the survivor benefit the other spouse could eventually rely on, not just the higher earner's own check. So what should you actually do with a 2032 projection sitting on the calendar? First, don't claim Social Security early purely out of fear that it won't be there. Claiming before your full retirement age locks in a permanently reduced monthly benefit for the rest of your life. A decision driven by panic instead of planning can cost far more than a 22% future haircut ever would. Second, treat Social Security as one leg of a three-legged stool, not the whole chair. A 401k or IRA, a taxable investment account, and Social Security together are far more resilient than depending on any single one fully. This is exactly why the tiers we covered in the 401k video and the dividend portfolio milestones matter. They're not separate from this topic. They're the actual hedge against it. Third, if you're decades from retirement, a same percentage reduction in a program you're not collecting from for 30 plus years is a reason to save a bit more consistently now, not a reason to assume the whole system collapses and do nothing. One last correction, since it's a common mix-up: Social Security isn't only a retirement program. The same system also pays disability benefits to workers who become unable to work before retirement age, and survivor benefits to the family of a worker who passes away, funded through the same combined payroll tax and covered by the same Trustees Report projections mentioned throughout this video. Anyone can check their own personalized estimates, retirement, disability, and survivor for free, directly on the Social Security Administration's website, using their actual earnings record instead of a national average. To recap, the Social Security Retirement Trust Fund is genuinely projected to be unable to pay full benefits starting around the end of 2032. If Congress makes no changes at all, ongoing payroll taxes alone would still cover roughly 78% of scheduled benefits, not zero. Congress has fixed this exact kind of shortfall before, in 1983, and has similar tools available again. Your own claiming age, 62, 67, or 70, changes your check far more than any projected shortfall, and spousal and survivor rules mean the decision often isn't just about your own record. The right response isn't panic claiming early. It's building your own additional income streams so that whatever Social Security ultimately pays is a bonus on top of your plan, not the entire plan. This video is for educational purposes only and is not personalized financial advice. Social Security projections, claiming age percentages, and spousal and survivor rules are updated periodically and can change. Verify the current year's Trustees Report and benefit rules at ssa.gov before making any retirement claiming decision. And consider speaking with a qualified financial planner about your specific claiming age. If this made the Social Security headlines make more sense, subscribe. New videos every week on the personal finance topics school never covered. Next up, the quiet way some people reach financial independence without anyone around them even noticing.